Thank you for agreeing to do this interview with me. I'm going to run through a couple questions based on students that are in the same academic position as you in right now. So before we start, I'm going to ask you for your name, the college you go to, the major you're doing, and what year you're in.
My name is Christopher Martinez. I go to City Tech College. My major is architecture, and I'm a sophomore in college.
So it's the second to like going to your third year?
Yeah.
So what borough do you live in?
The Bronx.
Bronx. How many hours does it take you to get to college?
2.5.
2.5 hours? And do you have morning classes and all that?
8:30 a.m.
Damn.
Yeah.
I have an 8 a.m. class, I barely make it in time. So. Are you a working student?
Yeah.
Where do you work at?
Party City.
Party City? Is it long hours or like
Not as good. Right now it's part-time,
Yeah.
but usually during like the seasonal type, like the Halloween type
Yeah.
stuff, it's great hours just because you work more hours. You work, because I did it from like 3:45, like the afternoon, to like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. So it was great hours, but now it's like really cut back. Yeah.
Do you well right now you're working and going to school. When you work in them long hours, do you still go to school?
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. You find yourself struggling with time management?
A little bit, yeah, mostly because I only have a certain amount of hours, like to do work. But then not exactly, because I only go to school 2 days a week, Monday and Wednesday. So Tuesday I go to work, Thursday and Friday I have off. But then Saturday and Sunday I go to work.
So like you're a part-time student too?
No, I'm full-time.
Full-time? Yeah.
Full-time student, part-time worker.
That's good. So like how do you make time management work for you?
Right now, the way I make time management work for me is by having my classes not back to back, like let them have a little bit of space so I can relax or do work, go to eat something, and I feel like that's how it lets me like focus more.
Yeah, because that's a great skill that a lot of students struggle with when it comes to college and all that. So do you find it difficult to keep up with the courses that you take?
A little bit, yeah.
Alright, so there comes to the final question. I'm gonna tell you why I asked this question before I ask it is because like some kids, they transition from high school to college and they're not really prepared for what they have to face. They don't really know what's ahead. Someone like they be chilling until, things get real and you gotta pull everything together. So if you had a high school student that was in your position right now that was about to transition into college, what are some tips that you would give them to like help them be prepared for what they have to face?
For your first semester, definitely do all your homework and go to every single class. And do not fall asleep and don't think it's like so laid back like high school. Cause that's what I did. And it pushed me back really, really far. Yeah. They need to manage their time with whatever they do personally and school, because school has a really big advantage, more of what they need to do, I feel.
And also like with the scheduling, they gonna need to like you said earlier, you were saying don't put your classes back to back.
Yeah, they need to have a certain, at least like 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes before another class.
And with those minutes, you could like revise the notes or like everything you learned from the last class, so you can stay ahead of the game. All right, well, thank you so much for the interview.
You're welcome.
I appreciate your time. Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you guys so much for agreeing to do this video with me. I'm going to ask you guys a series of questions that are aimed at students that are in your academic position. So firstly, I would like you guys to introduce yourselves. Just tell me your name, the college you go to, where the college is, and what major you're doing.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Amin Konate. I'm a junior at Mercy College in Manhattan, and my major is psychology.
Hi, my name is Makan Konate, and we are sisters. We both go to Mercy College, and my major is also psychology, and I live in the Bronx.
Thank you. So this is the first question. How many hours do you live away from your college?
We live in the Bronx, so it takes about 1 hour and 40 minutes to get to Mercy College.
Yeah, And sometimes if like the trains are like really delayed, it can take us about a 2 hour and 30 minutes to get here.
Thank you. So you guys working students?
I am currently not working.
And I am working, so yeah.
What job do you do?
I work at YAI, and it's basically like I work with disability people and support them.
All right. Do you guys struggle with time management?
At the moment, I don't, because I feel like a part of it is because I don't work and I'm mainly focused on school. But I noticed that for me and my sister, it's different because she works.
Yeah, and I really struggle with time management. Even like as a part-time worker, it's still difficult. Imagine a full-time worker. Like I come to school on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and I go to work Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So Wednesday I go to school and I go to work, and I really struggle with like managing those times together because after school I have to run to a station and take the first train that come and then just go to Portchester. So
Wow, that sounds really tough.
it really is, and I have to get up at 7 a.m. to try to catch the train out of the Bronx to get here by 8:30.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So with all this going on, do you struggle to keep up with your the classes?
For me, even though like I don't work or anything like that, I still struggle to work to get my grades up because college is honestly hard. You have a lot of free time in your hands, so if you don't focus, your time just fly out of your hand. And like if they give you a homework today, you're like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, and tomorrow come you don't do it. You keep pushing it away until the day come, and before you know it, your grades already falling apart.
Yeah,
Sounds like me.
Hmm?
No, go ahead.
Me too. Like no matter what, I'm learning that my school come first. So doing the job, I chose to do it because I know it's gonna prepare me for like the future. It's gonna prepare me to be an adult. But just because you're doing something that adults do doesn't mean like you cannot do something else, like academic or something like that. If I don't do good in school, there's no way I can do good in work. So like I have to find a way to balance both of them, you know.
That's the common struggle a lot of college
College
students are
students.
facing nowadays.
Exactly. But just you know that your school come first. Like no matter what, if you're gonna work full time, part time, whatever they wanna do in your free time, your school come first. Because with your school, it can help you get a good degree, so that in the future you're not gonna be able to struggle with time management.
Wow, you just segued into my next question, which was, do you have any tips for time management skills for anybody else that seems to be struggling with it? But since you asked for the questions, I would like to see if Ami have anything to say about that.
Okay. For me, one tip I have is since I'm not working, I feel like it's a really good opportunity. So if you're a freshman in college, take your time and learn your teachers, learn what classes you have to take, learn more about your major. And if you don't have a specific major, learn more about liberal art. But don't just jump into work because you need money. Or if you really need money for mature course and academic purposes, that's another different story. But if you don't really need money, you should just focus on class, your school, making friends, and just living the college life.
I also have some. You just like get more involved in a campus, get to know people. Like some people say they're not people's type of person or like people's type of people to socialize. You don't need to be like everybody's best friend in the school to get to like, get to know other opportunities or something. Just connect with 1 to 2 people in the campus and like ask them for like this little opportunity or where this program happening, when is it happening, blah blah blah. So get involved in the opportunity in the campus as much as possible, because if you get involved, people are gonna know you, they're gonna connect with you, and then in that way you're gonna get like opportunities from people. You don't have to go to them, they're gonna come to you.
And also, like she said, connecting with more people builds your network.
Exactly.
Not just in school, but even outside of school. So, like, let's just say you're a psychology major and you're friend with somebody that's an engineering major. And later on, you realize that you don't want to do psychology anymore and you like maybe computer stuff. You can still connect to that engineering friend and they can help you out. You never know. So, like, be open-minded to everyone and everything.
And you don't have to stick with one major. You can like change your major anytime you want. So if you are really interested in nursing and you like to do something with criminal justice, you can combine the major, or you can just do one and see if you like it and continue with it. But if you don't like it, nobody's forcing you to keep doing it. Know that it's your choice. You can change it anytime you want. Just do what make you happy, because if you're doing something that make you happy, you're gonna put effort in it and like make people around you happy and make yourself happy. So yeah.
Those are really great points.
Yeah.
So it all just basically dies down to networking and just
Socializing.
Time management.
all right, and not being able to get your feet wet too. So this last question, I'm gonna explain the reason why I picked this. Is because a lot of people who transition from from high school to college, they are like they have little to no preparation for whatever it is that they have to face, because college is no joke, and there's a lot of stuff that you have to be on top of if you want to keep your academic status at a good level. So this question I would like to ask is, what are some tips you would give students who are in your position and that are transitioning from high school to college? Do you guys have anything to just tell them that will just help them be prepared?
From high school to college?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have one. So basically in high school, you have like teachers that are willing to like help you with anything. They will tell you this thing is due at this time. They will be like, if you don't do your work, you're gonna get this grade. Even if you get that grade, they can like tell you to improve it. In college, you are your own student. You are your own teacher. I'm sorry. You are your own teacher. You have to like tell yourself, okay, this is the 11:59. I have to do it before the next day. Okay, I have to submit this at this time. I have to go this place at this time. Like you have to be your own everything.
So you have to self-teach
You have
yourself.
to be your own resource. Yeah, and use the resources around you. Just because like you have something simple next to you, like the library, doesn't mean it's not a resourceful thing. Use it with all your benefit, and like ask the teachers in there if you can do work study, if you can do anything to earn little money to buy yourself things that will help you in school. Yeah.
So thank you guys so much again. So I'm gonna end the video here.
Thank you.
No problem. Hi, good afternoon, and thank you for doing this interview with me. Can I get your name for the camera, please?
It's Mariatu Umane.
And where do you live?
I live in the Bronx.
What college do you attend?
I go to Mercy College.
Wow. What's your major?
I'm a psychology major.
And what year is this?
This is like my 3rd year. Like I'm a junior right now.
Alright. So how far do you live away from the college?
Like on a good day, 50 minutes, but on a bad, it's like an hour and 30. Sometimes going to 2.
That's New York.
Yeah.
So are you a working student?
Yeah, I work and I have an internship.
What kind of job? What do you work at?
I work at Steve Madden as a cashier, and then I intern at some like event planning thing for like the congressmen and stuff.
Well, sounds important. So how many days of the week do you work?
And do my internship. Like sometimes I work 4 days out of the week, and then I have to do 10 hours of internship. So I could like go to the morning, go to my internship, then go straight to work after it, which is like 10 a.m. to all the way to 1 a.m. It's bad.
Oh, that's why you still have to do your attend the class and all that stuff. Wow.
I have to go to school, work, internship. I have no social life.
Well, you don't have to feel bad about that. Do you struggle with time management?
It depends. Like when I'm going to school, sometimes I'll be late because I'll be waking up late. I'll sometimes work, but I'm not always late to work, but I always get there on time. But that's because I live not far. No, it depends. Like really.
All right. So how do you make time management work for you?
Like I try to wake up like at least an extra hour early before leaving to work or school, so I can at least get there on time. But you know MTA, it be messing with people. You know that.
So with all this going on, do you find it hard to keep up with the classes and all that?
Yeah, it does. It's stressful. Like I be trying to turn my papers in on time, but then I have work. I get off work at 1 a.m. I got to class at 10. Like, when do I don't even have time to do work unless I'm at school. So I try to stay after school to get them done. But then I have to run to work. So, and I try to do them at work, but you can't. 30-minute break, what you gonna get done? A sentence.
Sound like you have pretty good time management skills.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask you this last question, and before I ask you, I'm gonna explain why I'm gonna ask you it. And it's because a lot of students that transition from high school to college, they barely are prepared enough for what they have to face, because they think most of them think it's all fun and games when you get to college. So I like to ask you for some tips that you could give students that are in your position, but that are transitioning from high school to college.
It's not a rush. At the end of the day, choose yourself. Like, if you're working and going to school, like, you don't have to always, don't be a full-time worker, especially. Like, it's gonna drain you emotionally, mentally, and physically. Like, don't do it. I had to learn the hard way. I thought it was gonna be like, hey, especially it's a big transition, so you gotta take it smoothly. If you don't want to work your first, you could do student life work, but that's easy because you at school and then you could go to class after and then you could stay after do your work. But if you're doing like retail, it's not it. Like, always choose yourself when it comes to school and stuff like that. Because work, I had to quit my job. It's not it. Because, like, they think you, like, some freaking robot that you could come any day, any time of work when you got school. Like, you have to think about your mental health, too. Well, they don't care about that, so.
Thank you so much for your time. That's the last question. I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. I appreciate the interview.
Anytime, you feel me?
Hi.
Nervous.
Hi, good evening, and thank you for agreeing to do this interview with me. So I'm just gonna run through a couple questions, but first I would like you to introduce yourself. So can I get your name, sir?
My name is Alfredo Palma.
And what college do you attend?
I attend Mercy College.
What major are you doing?
I am majoring in business administration and management.
Business administration? All right, what year are you in?
I am a sophomore.
You're a sophomore. And what borough do you live in?
I live in Queens.
In Queens. How long does it take you to get to this college?
As long as there's not any delays, of course. New York is known for that.
Yeah.
But around an hour.
Is that
If it's traffic heavy, then it becomes an hour and a half.
Hour and a half. All right. So, are you a working student?
Yes, I am.
All right. What job do you do?
I work as a cashier in Woodhaven.
All right. Do you find yourself struggling with time management?
Yeah, I do. I think, I made my schedule to try to work out with school, so I give my hours on weekends, and so my schedule is Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, I go to work. Wednesdays for school, Thursdays for work, and then Fridays for school too, so I only go 2 days to school. So the rest of the days I work. I try to, adjust as much as I can, but it is a little difficult because I do spend most of my time working, in order for us to pay for our supplies, our tuition, our costs for transportation.
Yeah.
We need money, so we have to work. At least I do.
So, what are some ways you try to improve your time management skills?
So, in terms of managing how I use my time, so I try to make space, regardless if it's in the morning or night, where I can work with my assignments. So, and in terms of studying is a little more difficult since I only go 2 days to school and the rest of the days I work. So whenever I come home from work, I try to do between a 1 to 3 hour gap for whether it's homework, an assignment, or an essay. It changes. I try to make an hour, 2 hours each day, depending on how it goes. And if it's for studying, obviously, I'll try to take off a day. I'll ask, previously within 2 weeks of anticipation for a day off in order to try to catch up.
That's really good. Do you find yourself struggling to keep up with the classes and everything?
Sometimes I do. Sometimes there are times where, a student has to miss class. I have to miss class sometimes. And then you have to catch up on the notes and whether it was an assignment that you had to do and you're unsure how to do about it. It is sometimes, complicated.
Yeah. And with all this going on, if imagine a student from high school transitioning into this position, they wouldn't know exactly 100% how to be prepared for what they have to face in the future. So if you had high school students ready to be in your position right now, what tips or advice would you give them to help them down the road?
So at least I was, because we were all high school students.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think college should be that hard. Because you know how your teachers, they tell you how, college should be hard, it's going to be really difficult. And I took it as a joke. I thought they were kidding. Obviously, it's not. You have to give in your effort when you're going to come to college, because if you're not going to give in your effort, you're setting yourself up for failure. I say that by experience. My first semester at a different school, I failed a majority of my classes because I didn't take it serious. And whoever's coming from high school to a college, you have to have at least these 3 things: the motivation to do your work. You have to properly administer your time, because if you don't make time for your assignments, everything else, in terms of studying your tests, you're not going to succeed. And the third one is you have to be able to accommodate yourself to where you can go to. Do not aspire to go to a private school that whether you or your parents can afford. Don't do that. Don't set yourself up for potential loans in the future where you're not going to be able to pay with it. You're going to be paying the government, and you're going to be able to live with yourself. Go to a school where it fits with whatever you want to do and you can afford it. Because if you're going to go to a school that's expensive, it's not going to work out. If you go to a school that's on your budget, everything's going to flow perfectly.
That was the last question. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.